Everybody, hello, hello, hello. I feel like I'm super duper washed out right now. That's really silly. Why am I so like, I don't know. Eventually I'll figure out this whole YouTube thing. I can't get my screen down. Oh well, I'm just gonna have to be washed out and we're just gonna have to deal with it today. Hope you guys are all doing well. So today's video is all about what I eat and why. So this is really gonna drive me nuts. All right, hang on it guys. Sorry, let's see if I can. Is that better? A little better, not much better. Ugh. Okay, I'm just gonna like try to like block the sun a little bit. I don't know, it's like ridiculous. So what I eat and why. This has been a very, 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 very requested video topic, all the things. And for me, it's been a journey. That is where my health and wellness journey started, was with changing my food. So back in, I would say from birth to maybe 2008 or 9, something like that. Throughout that time frame, I ate just a traditional standard American diet, things that normal people eat. Good morning, good morning. And so once I worked in an office setting and I did a weight loss challenge, I learned about Weight Watchers. And so then I was Weight Watchers standard American diet for about 6 months or so. And then after that, with a little bit of nudging from my sister, she was like, you don't really look good. And like most people were telling me, you look really gaunt. And I did. I looked bad. I looked really gray and kind of sunken in and just unhealthy. So I started learning more about nutrition rather than just the macros, right? I was like so obsessed, like literally obsessed with counting fat and like calories and fiber and all the things, like counting all the macros. That was like my thing. And so once I started learning about healthy eating, we then switched from Weight Watchers, I say we, myself, my husband just kind of ate what I gave him, to cutting out all fast food. Then we saw a movie called Food Inc., which then in turn we turned vegetarian because it completely freaked us out for 2 years. Went to a doctor. Doctor told us we needed to be gluten-free, so then we were gluten-free vegetarian for a good long while. I don't even know how long that was, years. And then my husband was having some digestive trouble, and so we thought it was like IBS or something. So then it was low FODMAP, gluten-free. That wasn't really doing it much. So then we were kind of like standard American diet, gluten-free version up until 2 years ago. Okay, so there's the backstory. It's been a journey literally for about forever, a really long time. I am so sorry that my light is just awful right now. I feel like I should just hold my hand here. So anyway, so after that point in time, my husband was very anemic and went into the hospital for about a week's time, and we didn't really know what was going on. And he was diagnosed with most likely this certain autoimmune condition. And I don't like to say it out loud because I don't want to speak it into existence. So at the hospital, when he got his so-called diagnosis, it wasn't really a diagnosis, but when he got that, I didn't know it was an autoimmune condition until I got home and started researching. Thank you, hospital, for not telling me. What are you doing? So anyway, so I figured out it was an autoimmune condition, and I had heard of this thing called autoimmune protocol, Paleo. And so I was like, we're desperate. We have to do something because the inflammation that he was having was in his gut, and we knew we needed to heal his gut. Like that was super duper important. I'm wondering if I turn my light on behind me. Hang on a second. This might help. It might make things worse. I don't know. Let's see if this helps. Does that help? Not really. Okay. I'll figure out a different place to sit the next time. So autoimmune paleo, or autoimmune protocol paleo, or autoimmune protocol, however you want to say it, 2016, May 2016, he was strict autoimmune protocol for 2 solid years. So through summer of 2018. At that point, he started doing reintroductions, and now he is autoimmune protocol paleo with reintroductions. I eat mostly that way too because I cook for both of us, so it's silly to cook him something and me something else, and like why would I do that? So I also am autoimmune protocol paleo with reintroductions, but something that we've incorporated recently, I would say within the last like 2 or 3 months, is we've started incorporating medical medium principles into that. So what does that look like? That's all like a long explanation. What is that exactly? So if you guys are interested in autoimmune protocol, I recommend this book. Sorry, it's going to be backwards for you guys probably. It's called The Paleo Approach Cookbook. There's also a Paleo Approach by Dr. Sarah Ballantyne. So I highly recommend this if you are somebody or know somebody, love somebody, anyone who has any kind of chronic condition or like an autoimmune condition, or you just don't feel good. Check this out, okay? This was literally a lifesaver, and I don't say that lightly, okay? It was absolutely, for no other better way of saying it, it literally saved his life. All right, so then the other thing is, I love this cookbook, The Healing Kitchen, also Sarah Ballantyne right there, but it's also by Elena Haber. I don't know if that's how you say her name. That's this girl on the side. This is a great cookbook that has beautiful like pictures and lots of ideas if you're wanting recipes within this framework of eating. So how it actually looks is it's kind of like an elimination diet where you reintroduce things after your gut has healed and the inflammation has gone down. So what it looks like for us now, I'm not going to give you a whole backstory on what AIP is. You can look that up online. The Paleo Mom is Sarah Ballantyne's website, thepaleomom.com. She has an intro to what is AIP all on her website. So I highly recommend looking that up if you know any autoimmune anything is in your family, in yourself, in your friends, anybody. Shout this from the rooftops because it literally has saved people's lives. So our diet right now, what it looks like is basically a combination of vegetables, fruits, and meat. That's pretty much it. Like that, it's so simple to like shop and cook and all the things. It is definitely something that seems barbaric to people who are used to recipes and casseroles and pizza and pasta and like all these things where you want to have these imitation comfort foods, and there's like really no real good way of recreating those when you're eating a whole foods paleo diet. But your palate changes, and shopping and cooking and eating and going out to eat and all the things becomes so much easier because it's simple food, and your palate changes, and when you're hungry you reach for an apple rather than reaching for, I don't know, some sort of prepackaged bar thing or whatever, you know. It's just, it makes shopping so much easier. Grocery stores all have the natural foods in the produce section and in the meat section and all the things that you need, and it's just so easy to do it. The emotional component is the hardest part, and once you get past that, I think in our house it was maybe a week or two, and then once my husband started feeling better and I actually started feeling better myself, the emotion went like we didn't care anymore. It was fine, and the way we were eating was just so simple and natural and easy that it's become a lifestyle change for us now. So how does my daily life look from an eating standpoint using these principles and medical medium principles? So just to walk you through what a typical day looks like for me. For breakfast, I tend to have some blueberries and a banana, either in a smoothie form with some spinach, or in just like cut up in a bowl, really easy. And I normally top it with coconut and roasted cacao nibs. So the cacao is a reintroduction from autoimmune protocol. Outside of that, coconut is AIP, so is the fruits and the spinach and all that. Those are all fine. So that is a medical medium thing, because what I was doing before was I was eating eggs, and I am off of eggs at this point, and I feel a lot better being off of eggs. Eggs are not included in the autoimmune protocol, so my husband is also off of eggs as well. For a lot of people, it can be an inflammatory food, so that's like the paleo principle of it from the AIP standpoint. But from the medical medium standpoint is when you think of like vaccinations and stuff, a lot of times the solution has some egg in it because it can help keep those things alive or like functional, I guess. I'm not using the right sciencey words before you get vaccination. So the idea is that eggs can hold on to viruses and bacteria in the body too. So he recommends people not eat eliminate those from the diet. So that's what I did. And I do feel a lot better. My skin has improved and like that kind of thing. So the second thing with the breakfast time frame is celery juice. That's something you've probably seen like touted in all of like the Women's Day magazine or whatever, like all these different types of things on Oprah and Dr. Oz, and I don't know. It's becoming like a mainstream thing, extra and that. Anthony William is the medical medium. You can check him out. I think it's literally medicalmedium.com. He's got a good Instagram too. And he talks about drinking celery juice in the morning. Now, you're supposed to drink it on an empty stomach, as much as you can tolerate. He recommends like 16 to some ounces. Right now we're still in the 8 ounces or less category. And for me, that has also helped my skin a lot. So that's like my breakfast. That's what I do. And it's very easy and quick and satisfying, and it's great and fast. So, okay, so then fast forward to lunch. A typical lunch for us looks like leftovers from the night before put into a soup. Like, that's how soup kind of came about, was using up leftovers into like this like stew kind of thing. So generally speaking, I have bone broth as like the soup base, but you could use, you know, chicken broth or, you know, whatever you wanted to do anyway. And then I also like to put in some meat, normally ground meat of some kind, either ground turkey or maybe some leftover chicken that I had from the night before, or beef or whatever, in there with as many vegetables as I can shove into it. So most of the time I buy frozen vegetables, works great. So I literally just dump them in there, whether it's cauliflower or broccoli or, you know, kale or anything, carrots, whatever I have in the freezer. I just put them in and I let it simmer until it boils for about, I don't know, a couple minutes. And that's it. And like, so that's my main part of my lunch, and same thing for my husband. And then we also each have an apple a piece. And then sometimes I'll have some dates later on in the afternoon if I need it. Coconut is something else that I put with the dates if I feel like I need a little extra calories. So that's sometimes. And then I also do Ningxia Red. So young living people, you know what Ningxia Red is. If you don't, it is a wolfberry puree. Now, wolfberry is a nightshade, so it is a reintroduction into from autoimmune protocol, but it does follow in with medical medium principles, so that's a good thing. And it's literally a wolfberry puree and then like blueberry, pomegranate, aronia, cherry juices. And it's like my mid-afternoon pick me up. So I normally do that around 3 o'clock, and it's literally just a shot glass and that's it. Or I'll pour that amount into a big glass of water and just have that in the afternoon. So then dinner time, and then we stop eating after dinner. Dinner time is similar to lunch. So it's some sort of a meat of some kind with as many vegetables as I can put in with it. I don't normally do recipes necessarily. It's literally, I cook meat, I brown it up, I cook some vegetables, and I put it on a plate. That's like it. So it's fine. It's super simple, and I just season it with some salt or some like vitality oils from Young Living. So sage or basil or whatever. And that's it. And then we'll have a little bit of fruit with it. So sometimes it's like frozen cherries that have thawed, or some frozen blueberries that have thawed, just whatever I happen to have in the freezer. And then we also have some starch. So that's like when we have our plantains for the day, or like sweet potatoes or something, just to kind of round out the meal with a little bit of starch. And that's it. That is how we eat. And I know it sounds so barbaric to people who are so used to like going out to restaurants and eating pizza and pasta and burgers and like all the things. And it's not that we don't eat those things, we just don't eat them in the traditional sense. So if I make a burger, I just don't have a bun with it. So I have a burger and I have some lettuce and I have like maybe tomato on top or onion or whatever. Like I have the other stuff, the filling stuff, but without the bread. So the things that basically we have eliminated that most people eat, and you know, that's not to say we're never going to have beans again or whatever, we're just choosing not to at this point in time. So we've eliminated beans, we've eliminated grains, all grains, including corn, no eggs. Also, from a medical medium standpoint, pork is another thing that can kind of hold on to disease, so we've eliminated pork. And my husband doesn't eat nuts or seeds. I do on occasion. What else? Dairy, we're both off of dairy. All kinds of dairy. Dairy across the board, butter, cheese, all of that. Is that it? I think that's it. So the things that we actually do eat are all kinds of different, like organic, pasture-raised meats, not eggs. So we have eliminated eggs. Pretty much every kind of vegetable. Outside of just a couple. We haven't reintroduced white potatoes yet, or peppers, like actual like bell peppers and things like that, or pepper spices. Is that really it? Yeah, that's it. And then fruits, you know, pretty much most of them. So yeah, that's how we eat. And I can tell you that I feel a whole lot better eating this way than I did when I was just standard American diet gluten-free version of that. I did a comparison photo of March of 2015 versus like a month ago. They were screenshots from my YouTube videos. I have them on Instagram. If you want to go check out my Instagram, it's like the second or third picture in the grid right now. And it's a comparison photo of like, it's not a very attractive photo of what I looked like then versus what I looked like after I took all of like the diet switch, adding essential oils in and good supplements and all of those things. And you can just see it on my face, how different I look. You can't tell how I feel, unfortunately. I wish I could convey that to you and I can't, but you can definitely see it on my face. So check out my Instagram, and my Instagram is just Annie Simple Life. And that comparison photo it's pretty interesting. If I can change the thumbnail here, I'm gonna do that because you'll be able to see it in the thumbnail. So anyway, hope that answers your question. So if you guys have other questions that you want me to answer, feel free to leave a comment here. If you're watching the replay, that's fine. It comes to my email, or you can just shoot me an Instagram DM. That's totally fine too. And I've got how many days am I doing this? I got 28 more days.